So I'm trying this again. I'm doing it on two phones. I'm doing it on this phone, and then I'm doing it on this phone. This phone is my live. This phone is just gonna, where do I look? This is gonna be for my I'm gonna try to upload it to YouTube. It will be my first video I uploaded on YouTube, and love you. Like I already made one before, but I didn't end up uploading it because it was taking too fucking long. So I need my hair cut. But anyways, and I did try do a little bit of makeup and stuff, but I did it like super fast and super half-assed and whatever. Any hoot, I really don't care. I wanted to make this video for people that are new following me, or for people that just um whatever, you know what I mean? Okay, anyways, I guess in order to tell my story, I have to tell a little bit of my mom's story, and I do have her permission to tell a little bit of her story. Uh, when my mom was 13, she was essayed by a family friend of hers, somebody that she knew. Just one second. I'm a cougher. You've been warned. But yeah, she was essayed by a friend of hers, a childhood friend of hers. She was 13. He was 18 or something like that. But anyways, when that occurred, and he just discarded her and treated her like a piece of garbage when he was done with her, right? He she believed it. She believed when he told her she wasn't worth it. She believed that, right? And that stuck with him, and that created hell of a trauma bond. So what happened that evening, like this could be a whole other video. I'm trying to look at me on this phone, but I can't. I think it's because I'm using the phone sideways, but just bear with me. And I am sweating because my fan sucks freaking ass. But she ended up marrying him when she turned 18, and they had one child together. It's something like this, right? And then my dad went to prison. My mom got involved with another man, ended up having his child, but gave him up for adoption, right? Because that would be what was best for that child. Because what's gonna happen when my dad gets out, right? Who knows what have happened to that kid? But I will one of these days make another video about my mom's essay. When I get more details from her, I think I will do that. That will be something that I'm interested in telling part of her story. Well, needless to say, we were born into a very tumultuous home. We had a very shaky upbringing. to say the least. There was a lot of violence, there was a lot of abuse, there was a lot of emotional abuse, mental abuse, ridicule. There was CSA involved in my home. I'm a survivor of CSA. I suffered CSA at the hands of not only my father but other adults and family members. I have named them on my Facebook account. I have named them because I have a witness. I have a witness, and it's not slander because it happened. You know what I mean? It took place. It occurred, and but anyways, it's like just stay in your own lane now. Don't fuck with me, and I don't have to go any further with this shit. Because if people push me, I will. I'm like a toddler, right? You tell me not to do something, I'm gonna like totally do it. I think it's because, is it because my camera is on this side? Anywho, my home life was full of a lot of abuse. I spent a lot of time in fight or flight because I never knew what was coming next. Usually anything meant it was going to end in abuse. Verbal abuse all the time. Like, I wasn't even safe grabbing ketchup from the fridge because I didn't know what my dad was going to say to me when I couldn't find it. And if I didn't find that ketchup fast enough, he was going to say something really awful to me. And he did. And then I would never find the ketchup fast enough because I was always so anxious. When it came time, when I heard my dad tell me to grab him the ketchup from the fridge, I would get so fucking anxious. And then because I was anxious, it took me longer. It took me longer to find that ketchup. But then I didn't realize that I had been a victim of CSA at the hands of my father. Like, it didn't really register until a few years ago, where I finally had to tell myself, well, if I have to ask myself if I was a victim of CSA, if I have to ask myself that, then I probably was. And then I thought, now if I was an adult and I would not, necessarily behave in those mannerisms towards a child. So how is it okay for an adult to behave that way around me when I was that young? And then I went, oh, okay. So yeah, I was the victim of CSA. I was a very quiet, shy child, so the predators would just flock towards me. I know there's a bunch of words you're not allowed to say on here, but but that also is kind of a whole other story in and of itself. All the times I was targeted, and I'm just processing a lot of that stuff now. And it's like, no wonder why I have fucking trust issues. It's like, if I couldn't trust those adults, who can I fucking trust? And if there was adults like that back then, there's adults like that now. So I don't trust fucking anybody around my kids. Nobody. Because I always say people would be hella surprised and shocked and probably wouldn't believe me for a few of these that they tried to do what they tried to do to me when I was a little tiny child. Some people wouldn't believe me, and I wouldn't really give a fuck. I wouldn't, because I know I didn't do anything wrong. I was a kid. I was a little child. Those people should have been protecting me, not preying on me. Right? Because a lot of the time we feel guilty calling them out, like we're going to ruin their lives, or like maybe they only did it once. Maybe they're not really like that. But then you got to take that one moment that they traumatized you, even if it only happened once or almost happened. And then you got to remember all those times you had to go and be around that person and act like they never did what they did to you when you were a little kid. Right until you're an adult. It's like there's so many elephants. There's so many elephants that we don't talk about. And the pedos, they're the ones that we should be talking about. That's what should be normal. Calling them out should be normal. Not calling a girl, not blank shaming her or victim blaming her, victim shaming her. Not saying she's calling her a derogatory name because she was targeted and abused, right? And a lot of these girls don't even know. They don't even know they're being fucking groomed. It's like a lot of these people, we stay close to them right into our adulthood, and then it never occurs to us that, holy fuck, I was fucking targeted and groomed by this person, and I stayed close to them for so many decades, and I never even realized what they did to me was fucked up. Hey, and that doesn't go away. It doesn't go away until we process it. And I'm like 47 years old now. I'll be 48 next month. And I'm just processing a lot of this stuff. I'm just making sense out of it. But the one good thing that comes out of it is I know those fucking people are no better than me. I used to be intimidated by those people. Well, guess what? I would never do to a fucking kid what they did to me. Never, not in a million fucking years. So that's why we should never, ever, ever let anybody make us feel like we're less than, because we don't know what closets, we don't know what skeletons people have in their closets, right? And just because there were so many times we didn't talk about the elephant in the room. It's like how many other girls are there out there living like that, having to be around their abusers, act like nothing fucking happened. And to me, every time we do that, it's just like we're re-traumatizing ourselves when all these people are around us acting like that person never did anything wrong, when in fact that person should be ousted from the family and from the family circle and everything, right? That child should be able to come forward and say, this is what happened. And then ideally, right? But at the time, I didn't fucking know. I don't even know if I was old enough to talk. Maybe that's why I didn't say anything. Like, I don't know, but I never said anything for a long fucking time. And a lot of the time, I felt guilty. I can't say that about them. I felt guilty. And there's so many reasons why victims don't come forward. So many reasons. I want to help change that. Because the guilt and shame we carry for our whole lives, like, I don't want people to have to wait until they're, till they're old and their kids are grown before they start processing this stuff. Like, there's so many people that were like me that never came forward for so many reasons, especially one of the reasons because they didn't want to make waves in the family, right? But yeah, so that was a big part of my life, was a lot of abuse. I was a lot of predators really came after me, and or at least they tried to see how far they could get with me. And but I was so fucking shy that I froze. I could not do what any of them wanted me to. So I gotta put a trigger warning on this fucking video. So today I'm a single mom. I get shit did. Uh, and because I do that, and because I do it unapologetically, and I have never have any regrets over doing it anymore, people don't like me. Which is no skin off my big Banagars. Um, um, I was always I was easy prey to for the bullies. I was very easy prey for the bullies. And then so a lot of the time I tried to become the bully, and a lot of the times I was. And I can honestly say that is something I kind of regret. I regret all the times I was ever a bully. But that was me. I had something to prove, right? That was traumatized me trying to, I don't know what the fuck I was trying to do, but if I could change one thing from the past, it would be those times where I was the bully. But yeah, I grew up in a home with a lot of violence. I didn't know when there was gonna be violence, and then when there wasn't violence between my dad and the whole family, like, we were terrified of him. There would be violence between the sisters. We fought. Me and my sisters grew up fighting. We all fought each other all the time, and we don't really get along to this day. But if I have to stay away from them to keep the peace, like I just, the way I think about it is, I am not sure how to get along with my sisters yet. Until I learn how to do that, then I will maybe be able to spend time with them. But until then, I'm going to just do work on myself, and then the people that are meant to be in your life will gravitate back towards your life. But even though I don't necessarily get along with my sisters, I won't talk about them either. And nobody gets to come up to me and talk about my sisters either. The only people that the only people that get to vent about your family is you. But if people come up to me and they're like, they ask me like, who's your sister dating, or so is your sister and this person, this, that, and the other, and it's like, shut up. It's like, just shut up. Like, go fucking ask them. Go ask them. Don't try to put me in the middle and make me do that. Like, grow up. We all get along with one another's kids, though. We all love each other's kids, like we love our own, like our our own children. Hi, Christy. How are you? When and then when I was 14, I went from my crazy household, from my crazy home, into a relationship with well, I was actually 15 by the time we started dating. I was in a relationship with a man in his 20s. Within within like maybe 3 years, I was a mother. And everybody expected me to be a good mother. And I was like, I was actually, when it came right down to it, like, if it weren't for my mental illness, I would have been a really good mother to my daughter. But I think I got her off to a good start. Like, I did my best, but I was just a child. I was just a fucking child when I met her dad. But us girls, we always had older men snooping around us because they thought it was or we thought it was flattering. And plus, guys our own age, they're just too immature, right? These guys had their own vehicles, they had good jobs, stuff like that, and they knew where all the good fucking parties were. They always bought booze. And but back then, it's like my parents were alcoholics, right? So they're like, as long as we know you're okay and we can go and party hardy. I love both my parents. My dad is passed, but I love him, and I've forgiven him. I forgave him a long time ago for what he's done. And then me and my mom today are best friends. Like, our relationship struggles every now and then. I'm not the perfect daughter by any means. I'm actually quite a toxic fucking doctor daughter a lot of the time. But I consider my mom my best friend. Since then, I've never been in a relationship with a man that treated me really, really good. I'm at the point where I'm just like, I won't even consider dating anyone because I don't trust anybody to be around my daughters at fucking all. I just don't. Once I hear something in your voice when you're talking about my kids, it's like, nope. If you call my kids beautiful, okay, yes, thank you. They're beautiful. Yeah, or if they say, well, they're pretty like their mom. It's like, okay, thanks. You know, and they look like me, right? But when I see her the second time, and then he says, yeah, I see your daughters. They're beautiful. And I get a feeling then it's like that's not, then it's like, no, then you don't even get to I won't let you one foot one fucking foot in the door. Especially these days, I don't trust anybody with my kids. And if that means I have to stay single for the rest of my life, then oh fucking well. But anyways, it's me and my sisters, right? We all went through we all grew up in the same house, so we're all gonna come out of that household traumatized in our own ways, right? Because we all have different personalities. We all have like we're all different human beings, right? We're separate individuals. We're gonna it's our trauma's gonna manifest itself in different ways, you know, where we experienced it and from 4 different perspectives, right? Or but then in the end we're very, very, very so much alike. Like we all have these really big fucking personalities, and we're all when we all get in a room together, it's gonna be really fucking loud. But at the same time, when you get people with very big personalities, a lot of the time those personalities really fucking clash. Really fucking clash. And that's what happens a lot of the time when me and my sisters are together. So it can be quite explosive. I mean, when you get us together, that's a lot of fucking trauma, right? That's decades of manifested trauma and unresolved trauma. I'm not trying to speak for my sisters, but I mean just right across the board, like I'm speaking as an Indigenous woman, like, so right across the board of all people, a whole bunch of us Indigenous people, we're fucking traumatized. And there's no shame in that. There's no fucking shame in that at all. There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. If you feel any shame for how you grew up or how you turned out, you don't have to feel shame in that. You don't. There's nothing. You didn't do anything wrong. Even if you don't like me, you didn't do anything fucking wrong. If you did something happen to you at the hands of an adult, you didn't do anything wrong. It's always the adult that should have known better. And, it's never the victim's fault. A lot of people will say, "Oh, she was 15 years old. She should have fucking known better." No way. Nope. Almost, you would think or you would hope any parent that has a little bit of even an inkling of common fucking sense would know that their kid is not mature enough to date for a 13, 14-year-old to date somebody in their 30s or even in their 20s, or a 19-year-old for that matter. They're still fucking kids. They're still children. I know I was a child when I was that age. Those grown men in their 20s that swept us girls off our feet. uh, had no business sniffing around us young girls, you know. They didn't. That was that was pretty sick. But like I say, back then, there's a lot of us Gen Xers that pretty much we raised ourselves, right? This is we're the first generation that didn't go to residential school. So none of our parents had parenting skills. And they were all dealing with their own trauma. That's why they all were, not all of them, but that's why some of them were abusive. And some of them were neglectful. And some of them were super inconsistent. Or they, you know, unfortunately, you know, the kids had to grow up in squalor. And the one thing I will say about my childhood growing up is my mom was always patient. She was always super patient with us girls. And we were some pretty bossy, headstrong fucking little broads back then. And she did really good. And she always made you feel loved, and she never lost her temper. She never lost her temper with you, but when she did, of course, you had to be really scared, right? And she always, I remember, I don't know how many days we'd get off the school bus and supper would be on the table. And we didn't even, she just took such good care of us. And yeah, I gotta give credit where credit is due. Yeah, but that's what I wanted to say. I just wanted to, well, this was really long. I didn't intend for it to be this long, but I don't know how I'm gonna get it to upload on this fucking bitch-ass internet connection. But, I think I'm all done smoking, and I hope my story wasn't all over the place. I hope to someday do lives on here, because there's a lot of people that don't want to be on Facebook. And I don't blame anybody. Like, I don't judge anybody for that. Well, why would I judge people for not wanting to be on Facebook? Like, that would be stupid. Like, ew, you don't have Facebook? But yeah, I'm gonna sign off. I hope everybody is doing good. If you're struggling, hang in there. I was just struggling a couple nights ago. Like, holy fuck, I was struggling bad. And but things are looking up. Things are doing good, better. I hope to come on here again and do this. Until then, peace out. All right, check you later.